You stupid fool. Did you really think you gonna hit me? Huh? Bam, bam, bam. Over.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Now, before I get deep into this, I want to elaborate a little bit on what I said in my last video talking about this story. I told you guys, when I first heard about this, because I heard about this when everyone heard about it, I was getting a lot of boxing fans that were emailing me at dantesboxingnation@gmail.com. You know, they started sending me links and like, did you see this, Dante? Did you see this? And the first video I seen was by Canada Peace Melbro. I think that's his name, something like that. But his video has gone viral. He played an actual clip of the fight where you see Tyson Fury's gloves just flapping back and forth like they're just bags. Like his hands are not even inside of the gloves, which we found out later on that his hands were all the way, or at least his knuckles were all the way at the bottom of the glove, which you'll see in this picture right here. Now, I get deeper into proving that later on, but the point I'm making is, when I first seen the first video of just the gloves flapping back and forth and Tyson Fury constantly punching with his glove open, I thought that was highly suspicious, but I didn't think it was enough to come out and say those gloves have definitely been tampered with. But after I seen the actual glove in the first fight, keep in mind, in the first fight with Wilder and the second fight with Wilder, you'll notice Tyson Fury's left hand, it bends at a 90-degree angle. I mean, it's dangling like a rag doll every time he swings his hand, right? So in the first fight, when I seen this image where you can clearly see his knuckles through the gloves, that's when I said, oh, I'm gonna have to make a video about this. And I just recently seen that just today. See, I'm the type of person where I kind of operate like a district attorney's office, where if we're gonna prosecute someone, I wanna make sure we really have good enough evidence to bring up charges, right? If it's not good enough evidence, then we're not taking it to trial. So once again, in the first video that I watched, I thought it was suspicious. Watching his gloves just dangle all over the place like that, I thought it was highly suspicious, but I didn't think it was enough to say this was intentionally done and those gloves have been tampered with. But now I can say that for sure. We know those gloves have been tampered with when it comes to Tyson Fury's gloves in the first fight and in the second fight. By the way, this image you guys are looking at, it was provided by Blue Blood Sports TV. He did a great job of creating this exhibit for this case. Now, because of the great hope insurance that Tyson Fury has, 95% of the non-black fans, they're going to defend Tyson Fury. It wouldn't matter if he was innocent or guilty. They're going to defend him because of the magnitude of this win. But we're gonna talk about what they said to defend him in my last video when some fans were trying to say, well, that's not a knuckle, that's his palm. We're gonna talk about that. But before we do, since this controversy has gotten so big, the question down is, Tyson Fury is an ESPN fighter. Everything that pertains to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, ESPN has covered it. Even the ridiculous excuse that Deontay Wilder made when he said he lost because of his 40-pound costume. Man, the whole boxing world, they took that story and ran with it, didn't they? I mean, I seen articles of that costume excuse everywhere, including ESPN talking about it. So think about this, guys. I want you to really think about how deep this situation is, the hypocrisy that exists, and what they're aiming to do and who they're aiming to protect. How is it possible that ESPN, they've talked about the excuse that Deontay Wilder made when it came to the costume, but when it comes to a serious situation that's brewing right now, where we have pictures and images and video clips to prove it, they haven't even addressed it yet. How is that possible? That's a rhetorical question. We know what time it is. See, because if ESPN felt that they could easily debunk the whole costume excuse, why don't they feel the same way about the excuse of Tyson Fury possibly tampering with his gloves? Why wouldn't they at least even talk about it? Bring Andre Ward on the panel like they always do and other fighters and ask, what do you think about millions of people saying that Tyson Fury's gloves have been tampered with? Of course they're not going to address this if they don't have to. The only way they're going to even think about addressing this is if they have someone purposely going on there to defend the allegation. That's how good that hope insurance is for Tyson Fury. Even in other countries, Tyson Fury is covered, right? Not only is he covered in his own country, which is expected, but he's probably covered even more in America. So with that being said, let's go ahead and tear down the Tyson fans' defense of where Tyson Fury's hands are in his gloves, at least his left hand. Because I had a couple people in the last video I did about this saying, hey, that's not his knuckle, that's his palm, that's the palm of his hand that's exposed on the inner part of his glove. And break this down completely. Let's get into Exhibit A. Now, if you look at this pic again, and you see right in the center, you see exposed skin, what you will notice is a vertical line. At least vertical if his hand was upright, right? So the question is, how many human beings do you know that have straight vertical lines inside the palm of their hands? I'm not talking about a slanted line. I'm talking about a line that goes straight up vertical. Like if somebody was to raise their hand, they were in class, and all you see is vertical lines going up and down inside the palm of their hand, you would damn near think that person is an alien, right? It's clear as day that that is a knuckle. That's the only way it would even make sense for a person to be punching with his glove open. At least that's the only way Tyson Fury would benefit from it, is if once again, his knuckles was all the way at the bottom of the glove. Another reason why we know that that's a knuckle and not the palm of his hand. Because if you've boxed before, then you would know that when you put wraps on, your whole palm is covered. You're not gonna see skin. You're gonna only see the color of the wraps. When you finish wrapping your hand, the only skin that is exposed is the skin on your knuckles. But you know what, just for argument's sake, let's say that really was his palm. Regardless if it was his palm, if it was his knuckle, the punch that he's throwing in boxing is illegal. It's illegal to throw a punch with your glove open. And this is what Tyson Fury did with Deontay Wilder in both fights all night. So when it comes to your excuse, Tyson Fury was intentionally doing something illegal in 2 fights with Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? It would be different if he did it for a couple rounds, but Tyson Fury, he did the same thing for 2 whole fights, which means there's a method to the madness. And you know, before I close out with this video, I also wanted to respond to some of the racist fans that posted comments in my last Wilder Fury video. And it was like maybe 2 or 3 people that almost had the same comment. They said, oh, you black bastards are just mad because a white man came over to your country and beat your guy's ass. That's why you're making these excuses. You know, the funny thing about this person saying this is one of the first people that actually brought this to light, this whole story of the gloves being tampered with, was a white guy from Canada. It wasn't some black dude who was just rooting for Deontay Wilder. Yeah, it was a white guy from Canada. He's the one that has a video going viral where he's playing the actual clips of Tyson Fury's hands getting stretched back like he's Gumby or something, or Dazlin from Street Fighter, just stretching his goddamn hands all the way backwards. And if you didn't understand the analogy, I'm talking about when Tyson Fury's gloves are just dangling all over the place like there's no damn hand in the gloves. Speaking of some of these fans that are celebrating by injecting race into this, like, yeah, you know, the black bastard lost, etc., 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 let me just go ahead and make this clear since you guys want to mention race. When it comes to the best fighters in the world, I mean, what team would you rather have? Would you rather have Team USA? Would you rather have Team UK, Team Mexico? Let's just keep this real. When it comes to talent, when it comes to the best fighters in the world, this country has Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Demetrius Andrade, the Charlo brothers, just to name a few. Now, it would be different if Deontay Wilder was the only guy we had. It was either him or nothing. But that's not the case. I mean, when it comes to Deontay Wilder, it's no secret, Deontay Wilder was never really known for his skill. He was known for his will, his heart, and that right hand that could bail him out of any problem. So when some of you fans yell out, yeah, that's right, the black bastard lost, etc., you're just admitting and revealing how you have felt every single time you've seen a black guy beat the guy that you were actually rooting for. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. But before I do, I wanna give a big shout out to my man, Nate Drink One. He has a really good YouTube channel. It's a new YouTube channel. He covers all the sports. They have a really good podcast on there too. It's called A Drink of Wisdom with a full panel. And I really like the show because it's set up like an ESPN type of show with very knowledgeable cats on the panel. On top of that, my man Nate, he's a 10-year Marine Corps vet. So go ahead and show him that support, guys, and subscribe to his channel.
For Michael Garcia. And Jesse Vargas, if you can't beat Jesse Vargas, hey, don't worry about it. You're done in the welterweight division.